Yo, 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 what's good, YouTube? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to another Stormybman's Boxing Raps. This is number 13, and we're calling this one Undisputed. Let's talk about it. For this Thursday, November 4th, 2021. The three wise men are still on hiatus because the brothers are still dealing with some circumstances. Our brother Kurt Sugar, also known as Kurt Anderson, is still having a rough go of it, family. I wish that each and every one of you that's out there listening to this live, catch it on replay, send your prayers to the brother Kurt Sugar's way. He is really having a difficult time, and he needs to pray for deliverance for this brother so he can return to his quality of life that he's accustomed to and return to the family that he has out here on the YouTube airwaves. So with all respect, let it be known that we have him in our hearts, minds, and prayers. And for the brother Scrapbook Boxing as well, as he's dealing with some things that is keeping him from the airwaves for a while at this moment. So both of them, hold them up in your prayers. I appreciate each and every one of you out there, welcoming you to this show this evening. And we will continue to have a live stream on Thursday evenings, even though the Three Wise Men show won't be there, but Stormy will be here, God willing, to hold it down and let you all know that, we won't miss a beat when it comes to, doing what we need to do to bring that quality content to you brothers and sisters out there listening. Okay. I am still dealing with my health issues, but I'm here and I'm glad to be here. You know what I'm saying? So let's not forget that as we go forward with this show. Okay. And know that I can do a variety of subjects as well as content material for this Thursday time slot. So Stormy is never short on ideals. Okay. So just know that. For those of you who are out there with us, hey, I'm going to welcome you. Big homie Coop, my juice is out there. He says, back smack that like button, people. Class is in session, so pay attention. That's right. Silvestrial is out there, says, Stormy, salute to you. Our brother and channel member, Bruce Goes, is out there saying, salute brother Stormy B Man, salute to you. And Jive is out there saying amen, also channel member. Yes, sir, big homie Coop. You're with me, man. I appreciate you, bro. I really do. Because it doesn't take all day, as I said in my video the other day, it don't take all day to do anything. Oh, and by the way, if some of you were looking to catch some of my content that I had done this week, outside of the special video that I did with my final thoughts on Fury versus Wilder, the trilogy, which is a magnificent video. I want to give all of you a round of applause who have made that video one of the biggest videos that I've done over the last month or so. So I appreciate the support on that, man. You guys are something else, man. And I had a lot of comments from people who are not necessarily subscribers to the channel who had something positive to say about that video. One brother even mentioned to me, he said, man, that video almost moved me to tears. Okay, so I must be doing something right, and I appreciate that. But yeah, we're here, man, to do what we got to do. You know what I mean? And that's why we come with something that's in the bag for everybody, as I like to say. I want to say salute to the brother Daryl Alexander, who hit up the Cash App earlier today. That was, I think, earlier this morning. He hit up the Cash App. So I made sure I jotted it down so I can acknowledge him on the air. So salute to the brother Daryl Alexander, who hit up that Cash App this morning. And any of you others out there who are interested in hitting up the Cash App, is scrolling right there at the bottom of the screen here. And also in the description box, we've got the links for the PayPal, also the merchandise link, all of that information that you need when you want to be accessible to Stormy B Man. It's right there for all of you there. And those of you who hit me up when I'm off, Stormy doesn't do an everyday stream or anything like that, but it's the thought that counts. And you know, what else can I say about that? When you do those kind of things, man, it's really special. So I want to acknowledge you guys for when you do those kind of things. You feel me? So hold on a second here. Yeah, we having a little stutter in the stream there. Big homie Coop says, Stormy B Man, the game needs you. When you're absent, the delinquents get brave. Well, I appreciate that, big homie Coop. But one thing about the delinquents, they don't know the limitations of man. That's why so many of them end up in the bad place. You understand? So being delinquent is no good thing, huh? Because there's always a lesson behind delinquency. So it's best to be on top of matters than to be on the outside of matters. You know, that's just coming from me straight. I want to ask you guys how you like my little collage I put up there for this evening's show. You know, I got some of the brothers who are most prominent in the sport out there. And yes, I include my man Josh Taylor out there in that, because he is a champion, undisputed, huh? And we got to acknowledge those guys who have achieved that in the sport. Not the almost, huh? The almost can get up out of here with that foolishness because you ain't, huh? That's what Stormy got to say about that. Willie Beecham is out there along with Brown on Boxing. Willie Beecham, channel member, says, love Joe Evander Holyfield profiles, Stormy. Salute. Appreciate that, Willie Beecham. I'll be doing more profiles on other fighters, but I thought I'd kick that off with Evander because that's my favorite fighter, you know. And you have to acknowledge the real deal, huh? Because it don't get no realer than that. The real deal. So, yeah, those profiles, and it's been a while, so I'll have something coming soon. Got a new laptop, and when I start broadcasting from a new laptop, you'll see all the bells and whistles, you know, the high def and everything. So even something like this collage you guys got up here on the screen right now, it'll be coming through in like 1080p. You understand? Looks great. But yeah, man, we gonna do it. And Josh says Josh Taylor can fight, bro. Yes, he can. That's why he's up there, huh? Stormy don't cut no corners when it come down to this stuff here, man. I tell it like it is. Make people mad and everything, because they be thinking like, oh, he. Well, check the record, huh? Check the tapes, huh? Or as BFTB says, the receipts, huh? That's right. Go out there and check the receipts and you'll see exactly why, you know? But yeah, man. Big homie Coop says, my Thursdays haven't been the same since the three wise men of boxing went into recess. yeah, man, it's something that could not be helped though. And we can hold out for the three wise men, because you have to understand, we have so much material that when we do get rolling again, we'll just pick up from where we left off, you know. And I'm not stepping on my brother's toes, so I won't do those type of content until they return. Just bear that in mind. You know, you got people out here today that they don't respect their lane. They all over in your lane, driving across the yellow line and everything, trying to cause accidents and chaos. Huh? Yeah, they out there right now, tonight, doing the same thing. Huh? But that's okay. We stand strong and we stand united. Huh? Right here on the Stormybman'S channel. And that's why I wear steel toes. Steel toes go right in the butthole. Huh? That's right. Kick them on up out of here. The ones that don't deserve it, they don't deserve it. But the ones who do, get ready. But yeah, we're going to talk about some things such as Undisputed. We got Josh Taylor up there, who's an undisputed champion currently. And I can't wait to see the young man fight again. I know he's supposed to have a fight in his home country and everything, but I think something came up, like somebody got sick or something, and the fight had to be postponed. But as soon as he gets back in the ring, we will have one of the undisputed champs out there doing his thing again. Look forward to that, man. It's a special time. You know what I'm saying? So can't wait to see Josh Taylor doing his thing again out there. I see my man Drew Titan LLC out there. I see you, bro. He says, yo, see you up out there, man. Caught Drew's stream this morning. I didn't catch it from the very beginning, but he was cooking, man. I smelled bacon, sausage, eggs, everything this morning when Drew was doing this stream this morning. So just the scent, the aroma brought me over there, huh? Had to check out what he was saying. I was mad that I didn't catch everything from the beginning, but sometimes I'm at work. I can't get my headphones on and be listening, but when I do get that chance, I'm right there. You know what I'm saying? I am right there. So yeah, we here tonight, talk a little boxing. Title of this show, Undisputed. Let's talk about it. And we could talk about it. You know what I mean? Undisputed, man. But this parlays into a number of subjects. Because on the road to Undisputed, we're seeing so many questionable moves out here, man. It just kind of, it's mind-blowing. Huh? You know, I mentioned I had a video about Dillian White pulling out of his fight with Otto Wallin. What the hell was that? Huh? Now, let's just take a step back for a moment. This guy, Dillian White, who outside of Anthony Joshua hasn't fought anybody in the top 10, you know? He's fought these guys who were wash-ups and never words and everything, like Joseph Parker, huh? That's right, I said it. And he's sniffing around that WBC title belt. But he had an obligation on the table against Otto Wallin. So somebody tell me, why was it okay for him to pull out of that fight, faking a shoulder injury, huh? And I said faking because that boy know he ain't had no shoulder injury. Otto Wallin was a live dog in their fight. Drew Titan did a stream where he talked about the ticket sales of that fight. I think 2 people bought a ticket way up in the rafters, huh? and the other people was asking for a return, even though they hadn't purchased one. So that's the kind of deal that Dillian White had going, huh? So to go along with the consensus of the people who were saying things such as, man, I think Dillian White gonna lose this one, huh? And saying other things like, man, Otto Wallin gonna whoop Dillian White's you know what. And word got back to Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn got back to Dillian White, and he said, Dillian, Mike, you're gonna have to pull out this one, Mike, huh? That's what he said. And Dillian pulled out, according to what Massa Hearn said, huh? Because anybody in their right mind knew after the efforts that he put up against Tyson Fury and Dominique Breazeale, whom Dillian White didn't want to fight for that number one contender spot, by the way. Let's not go back and forget our receipts on that, huh? Because Breazeale told him, hey, you start talking about you're a number one contender or whether I'm a number one contender, you can fight me for that. And the winner gets the title shot. The howling wolf was quiet then, huh? You know how when you see him doing an interview in public and he's looking around real fast, his eyes are always darting around. You know why his eyes dart around like that? Because he always running his mouth. And he trying to stay on the lookout because somebody might run up on him, huh? Because he talk too much. But he ain't talking about getting in the ring with one of those other contenders. So he pulls out of the fight, citing a shoulder injury. But he was on interviews with Kugan Cassius and all of them other guys over there in the UK, and he don't look like he hurt to me, huh? So, again, just like Teofimo, King Rai, and some of these others, pulling out of the fight is what he did. It was a good fight. Now, there's no guarantee that Otto Wallin would win, but that's where the money was going on Otto Wallin. You understand? And that's okay. But it's not okay for a guy to pull out of a fight just weeks before the fight. What was it? About another 19 days like Tyson Fury did for the July 24th fight with Wilder? Pulled out just merely days before the fight is supposed to kick off. This is how you know that it's BS. And he tried to come back and cite, well, Wallin talking about he lost 20,000, for his camp and everything. I lost hundreds of thousands. Dillian, you ain't lost a damn penny if Ed Hearn pulled you out of that fight. Otto Wallin did lose 20 grand, if not more, because he doesn't have the economic status that you've had. And this was going to be a good payday for him. And he's on the upswing. So you guys pulled that carpet from under him. And Ed Hearn was asked if he would be interested in putting Wallin in with someone else or whatever. And they stated that that's an option that they could consider, but he hasn't. See, the whole idea of that is to hope that Wallin just goes away, because putting him in any other matchroom promotion or something like that would mean that the consensus would want him to still track back around towards White or even Joshua, who's going to lose that rematch against Usyk, by the way. So Hearn is protecting his heavyweight interests with using White as a placeholder for that WBC title. Huh? That's what he's doing. And being a placeholder, he's going to face off against Tyson Fury if Fury decides to fight again. The whole consensus there is what's going to happen if White is unsuccessful and Joshua is unsuccessful in the return bout with Otto. Then Matchroom is outside of the heavyweight business. Because no one has to give those two guys a shot at anything. I want to say salute to the sister Tay Brown. I see you out there, Queen. OG Eric in St. Louis is out there. He says he got a great pullout game. You know it. Mac of the South is out there, says salute big bro. King Stormybman'S, Sensei, the Grandmaster. And who else we got? Everybody else is saluting one another. MPWTF is out there, says salute Sensei. And chat family, salute to you. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. I'm reading some of you guys' comments here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. By the way, Drew Titan got another channel coming up where he's going to have grown folks talk on there. Well, you know Stormy got to appear on that one too, because ain't nobody more grown than Stormy B, man. Okay? You got that? So, Drew, if you want to drop that link for your new channel in the chat, please do so, bro. Stormy ain't bashful about advertising. You understand? But back to this Lycan, Dillian White. So without proof of a shoulder injury, it just looks like he's going to wait until he can get that opportunity to fight Tyson Fury in the spring. But he will have sat out a whole year. Okay? Longer. And that's great, because Fury will whoop his butt just that much more. You understand? That's what that's about. Isn't it just easy to not like Dillian White? I mean, he's the kind of guy, like, if you at a public venue and they show his face on the Jumbotron, everybody boos. Huh? Boo! And they just take his face off real quick, because it's like, it just upsets the whole thing, you know. It's like a nasty, trifling fly that done come in your house through the back door in your kitchen. Huh? Boo! You know? That's what it is with Dillian White. But that's, you know, and Ed Hearn. And how many times do I gotta say this, man? Ed Hearn got a hairpiece on, man. The dude ain't got a full head of hair up there. He wearing a wig, y'all. Yeah. Look at the different color gradations in his hair. On top, it's a solid color. Everywhere else is peppered and sprinkled. Huh? Just like his shows. Huh? Peppered and sprinkled with something shady. You understand? Yeah, Mac of the South, you are welcome, bro. You are welcome. You've shown Stormy some support and everything for a while, you know, and I like to return the favor. You know what I'm saying? Big homie Koo says, boo. That's right. Everybody want to boo Dillian White, man. He's a nasty, trifling fly. That's all he is. Just buzzing around, landing on stuff you don't want him to land on, spitting up, regurgitating on it and everything. Now you got to throw it out with his ass. Huh? Yeah. But, yeah, I'm going to get on off of him because, you know, I don't want to bring the mood of the show down. I want to lift it back up. So let's talk about the young man that's up on the screen behind me here, Shakur Stevenson, man. Huh? Shakur Stevenson is on the come up. He finally has given me a reason justifiably to put him in that thunderous top 10 list of mine. And with that performance over Semper Fi, Jamel Herring, he has placed himself in great standing. A talented young man that the rest of the boxing world will try to avoid. You can check Shakur's name off into that Black Murderers Row 2021 because he's going to find it hard to get opponents now. And this is what they do, y'all. Everybody that's up here on this screen currently, with the exception of Josh Taylor, is a part of Black Murderers Row 2021. And just across on the opposite side of Josh Taylor is Devin Haney, one who we see for certain nobody's trying to get in there with the guy. Huh? Why? I don't understand. He's just a young boxer, still got milk around his mouth, huh? Still wet behind the ears, as they say. But they don't want to get a young man a shot. They don't want to give him a challenge. They don't want to give him competition. Why? Listen, man. I'll tell you why. To deny this new young generation opportunities, you cannot acknowledge accomplishment if you give them no opponents to accomplish anything with. Huh? You see the game that's being played? Black Murderers Row 2021 is all about freezing out the present and future talent of the sport of boxing, making certain that they don't have easy paths toward these championships. Even though that there are multiple sanctioning bodies, they will put roadblocks, stumbling blocks. They'll even put women out there in front of these men, hoping that they will stumble. Huh? Anybody check the Rolly Romero and Tank Davis fight? Huh? What's happened there? All of a sudden, some women came out and Rolly is a bad guy now, huh? He's going the route of Bill Cosby, huh? Yeah. But I'm going to tell you this, though. Not so fast when it comes to Rolly. Everybody know that Rolly ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer. But I'm going to tell you something. The greasy and slick Floyd Mayweather ain't the slick Floyd Mayweather from when he was fighting. Floyd started that mess. He used Rolly to build up a fight with Tank, then pull Rolly out of that so he could put Tank's real opponent in there, in this kid Isaac. Huh? Yeah. That's who they wanted. Ooh, Stormy, why would you say that? BFTB and Drew Titan have already talked about this. I think 78 said something about it as well. Floyd don't want Tank Davis to surpass him. And he already has in one department. Tank Davis can knock his opponents to kingdom come. He has a knockout punch. And he can box. For a little guy. So you mean the guy with the little man complex the biggest, the little guy with the biggest little man complex than anybody in the world, Floyd Mayweather Jr. You mean he don't want little Tank to be bigger than him? Hell no, he don't. Yeah. He's even building up a consensus with the fan base to make you hate on Tank. I figured this out a while ago. That's why when Tank knocked out his last opponent, I made a video about Tank and how I was going to get behind him and support him, regardless of what Floyd is doing, because Floyd is controlling his career. I believe Tank Davis will fight anybody. He's good enough. But all of the fighters that Tank could have fought up to this point and hasn't, and could fight in the future but won't, are fighters who will provide him with a litmus test and an opportunity at legacy in an era of which most of the contemporaries are fallible and defeatable. Floyd came up a different way. He had to toll till he got to Oscar De La Hoya and had to beg at the table of De La Hoya to get that opportunity so that he can have a look forward to the future being the man. And let's just put it like this. He did conquer Oscar, but it wasn't like it was all he. You know, Oscar faded. And that has more to do with Oscar than it has to do with Floyd. But with Tank, these guys, Tank can knock all these guys' heads off on any given night. A couple of them can box well enough to give him competition. But just like Deontay Wilder said in his fights, they have to be perfect for 12 rounds. He only has to be perfect for 2 seconds. That's Tank against these other guys. He can turn the lights out, people. And knowing that you have a fighter that can turn the lights out, you can always put yourself in a great seat. You can pick the size of the ring. You can pick the venue. You could pick, hydration clauses and so forth. Just check Canelo Alvarez. So why isn't Floyd making these fights? Because I'm telling you, if Tank gets wind of opportunity to start beating some of these other guys, he'll be too big for Floyd. I believe Tank is already getting tired of Floyd. And at some point he may look to jump ship, probably before the end of next year. But the thing about it is, he's already built a solid fan base. But understand the contradiction where Floyd has tried to damage that by making you upset at who he fights. But Tank ain't picking the opponents. Floyd is. Do you really want to see him in there against that little guy, the bulldog, Isaac? No. Keep putting him in there against the Latin fighters to build that love-hate relationship. We love to see him fight, but we hate who he's fighting. For the Latin fan base, they would love to see him lose, but they hate him winning against everybody. So Floyd is working it, both sides, playing them against the middle. You cannot go a career like that. Salute to Rob Sportsman Lee out there. I see you out there, but I thought you had a wrench, Rob. Is that the real Rob Sportsman Lee? Because Rob Sportsman Lee had a wrench on my channel. Salute to Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens and Andrew Charles, who have fallen into the building as well. And salute to Mr. Pac-Man 216. I see you guys coming in. Ricky Williams. Yeah, Rob, I thought you had a wrench on my channel, bro. Tell me what's going on with that. Excuse me, chat, while I was waiting on Rob's response there. Because I did get that brother a wrench a while back. Didn't you have a wrench before Rob, though? Didn't you have a wrench? Answer me that. Trying to see. Yeah, I wrench you up again, Rob. I know I had given you a wrench. It was a while back I gave you a wrench. Yeah. Well, you got one now. You've been blessed. But yeah, man. So people should clamor for Floyd to get the hell out of the sport, man. Not just, oh, you should just promote. Just get the hell out of the sport. Cause you logging people down, bogging them down, and you not letting these butterflies fly free. Huh? Didn't Elton John have that song that said, butterflies are free to fly, fly away? Huh? What the hell is Floyd doing putting anchors on butterflies? Tank is a butterfly. This guy could ascend to the heavens with what he brings to the ring. Huh? It's crazy because when he fights in Atlanta, that's Black Hollywood. The people fill that stadium up for him. Yeah, listen, man. If anybody find themselves getting blocked over here, the only way we know it is that I've given out new wrenches over this past month, this past 30 days, new wrenches. So it'll be someone in those new wrenches that I've given. So don't worry about that. That's why Stormy take his time in divvying out the wrenches, because they may think they can creep in, but I'll be creeping too with that shotgun blast waiting on them. Huh? I don't play around with that foolishness, man. Salute to World Combat Sports. I see you out there. He says, salute Stormy B, man. Talk that ish. Yeah, man. We're talking right now about Floyd Mayweather bogging down Tank Davis. And the reason why he bogs down Tank Davis is because he doesn't want Tank to outshine him. That's it, in a nutshell. Tank is the type of fighter, he don't really need a promoter. His performances promote themselves. He's exciting. He's a little guy with a ton of dynamite every night. Huh? Look at how inoften they're having him fight. That man should be fighting 4, if not 5 times a year, simply because he gets rid of people. Y'all remember when Mike Tyson was fighting at least 3 times a year? Same thing. When you get rid of people, you can fight more often. The most damage you're taking is in the gym when you train. And if you fight frequently, you don't have to train for sparring that much because you get your timing down. You stay in the gym. You get those fights, boom, it's like clockwork. These young men have been fooled into not fighting often enough. And then when they do fight, they're fighting in so-called championship matches or network championships and things of that nature, where they get a huge chunk of the money taken away from them. Yeah. You see? And I don't even talk about that very much. You know, Stormy just pretty much stick to the X's and O's. But don't think I don't know the sport. Huh? There's so much foolishness that goes along with the sport of boxing. If it was totally revealed to you, you would walk away from the sport. It would be nothing to love here. Like you see when the police put that yellow chalk line up and that marker when it's a crime scene. Nothing to see here. Move along. Huh? That'll be the sport of boxing if you really knew the crap that went down. Huh? That's the real deal about boxing. So if Floyd don't want Tank to be too successful, what do we do about that, people? What do we do about it? Tank is like 25 or 26 years old right now, right? The years go by fast. He'll be 30 years old and will not have fought Shakur or Devin Haney or Teofimo, any of these guys. The way Floyd is doing things. And this is not a case of Black Murderers Row with Tank. Well, maybe it is. Because, see, Tank is the fighter in Black Murderers Row. And Floyd is the PTB. Powers that be. Huh? That's keeping him on the outside of legacy. Floyd is holding this man's career up. He's stalling him out. And if he ever gets his hand on another younger prospect, he'll stall Tank until Tank is 32, 33 years old, then put him in there with somebody else for the other guy to clean him up. That's how Floyd is. Floyd is the whitest black man in America, or the blackest white man in America. And he don't mean none of the fighters any good. Y'all remember that one fighter that was in his gym that died? Ooh. I shouldn't say that, huh? Look into it. Drew Titan LLC says, I was blocked on Trill for 2 weeks. Black had to jump through the hoops to fix it. YouTube does that to all of us. Yeah, I believe that, Drew. I believe it. Rashid Rourke is out there, says, peace to the Wiseman, Stormy B. Peace to you, bro. And he says, peace and respect to everyone. Jive says, you see that WBA BS situation, Stormy? We love the sport, but it doesn't love us back. The Village Brother is out there, says, facts. This is the first time I've seen the Village Brother write in the chat. Where you from, Village Brother? Stick around. Write some more in the chat. Volts UK is out there. He says, facts, Stormy. Yeah. He says, salute to the teacher and the chat. Salute to you, brother. Yeah, but you see the WBA, they doubling down because of what we did. The voice that we raised behind Michael Fox. Okay? We exposed their corruption like sun on a dark day. Okay? Not only did they try to get this man to cheat with loaded gloves, they tried to cheat with the scorecards, the decision, and everything. They even picked one of their biggest bigots to be on the judging panel. We exposed it. We had Michael Fox on interviews. He did live streams. We were out there. So much to the degree that bigot had to take her social media down. It was exposed of her inappropriate relationship with the WBA president and everything. She was, jerking him off, and I mean in the nasty kind of way, because she got a relationship and a bed that she shares with the man, and she's judging fights under his sanctioning body. If that ain't a conflict of interest, I don't know what is, huh? Her pen in one hand and his Johnson in the other? Really? Really? But, see, we'll talk about these things. We won't be like old media and say, what about that guy? Where is he from? Venezuela? The guy that was supposed to participate in the Olympics, and at the last second, he decided not to go into the Olympics and just to continue his pro career. And he had 7 fights, I believe, and they were letting him fight for a world title. Who does that? 7 fights and a world title. It was supposed to be all set up for him, right? Red carpet to a title. Another Latin fighter that they were just going to get in there and let him do his thing. Smash my like button, people. This Boxing Raps is talking about some things. You've heard the news. You've heard these stories. You don't often hear Stormy talk about them, but I'm aware of it as well. Smash my damn like button. Man, Oscar Valpards test positive for a banned substance. Mauricio Suleiman said, hey, it's not a banned substance. Well, Vada said it is. Oh, it's no different than if he had drank 4 Red Bulls. Who the hell drinks 4 Red Bulls? I don't drink Red Bull, period. Read the contents on that can and see what's in there. Huh? You gotta be out of your cotton picking mind. And anything that Mauricio endorsed is bad. Let's just put it like that. Tell the truth and shame those devils. Huh? Anything Mauricio endorsed is bad. He run the WBC like a cartel, man. And he probably don't run it at all. They probably telling him what to do. Take that envelope every month or whatever. But they do it. That's what they do. Remember that woman that fought Francois and Cruz Discern? I bet you do. Her voice was deeper than mine. Remember Tyson Fury, his victory over Deontay Wilder. When they said, hey, something is up with his gloves, what did Mauricio say? Why you want to mess up one of the greatest nights in the history of boxing? What? Because Fury won against Wilder in that second fight, that was one of the greatest nights in the history of boxing? Why? You guys said that Wilder couldn't box. He wasn't a good fighter. You guys said that, you know, he was nothing. So why celebrate it as one of the greatest victories in boxing? What a conundrum. Is it that Wilder is really a dangerous and great fighter? And that because you overcame that, you should be celebrated for that? Or is it because Wilder was an outspoken, confident, courageous black man in a time when this country is doing all it can to put confident, courageous black men under? Ooh. I'll let that sit right there for a minute. You can think about that. Rasheed Rourke says they're reduced to giving flimsy excuses for cheating because there's no valid explanation for their actions. They'd rather just tell you you're not welcome. That's what they want to say. Do you remember a few years ago, Hearn's dad at that press conference with Dillian White sitting next to him, grinning with that shit-eating grin? There was a time when we didn't have to say sir to these people. Wow. Wow. Oh, I see the numbers dropping off now. Yeah, Stormy must have said something. That's okay. Real recognize real. Even in the most stern martial arts studios, when you take your test for your next belt and your next achievement, it's tough. Some people quit. Some people don't come as often. Some people only want to treat it as exercise. Then you have that small few that want to be the best that they can. And they buckle down. Woos. To do their best. So few achieve greatness because even more few dare to take the risk toward greatness. You have to dare. You have to ask yourself to pick yourself up off the bonfire, to will yourself into something. That takes a lot. Not many have that. And that's okay. We always need some place to wipe our feet, don't we? I'll let that sit there and marinate as well. Rasheed Rourke says, yeah, I remember that. I was wondering what White was smiling because he was embarrassed. He too dumb to be embarrassed. You don't believe me? Look at his last couple of performances in the ring. And look at every time he does a soundbite with an interview. Huh? Too dumb to be embarrassed. I said it. That's called ignorance. He smiles because when the man speaks, his smile is an endorsement. Yeah. The smile is an endorsement. He don't even know what he endorsing. I told you he's too dumb. I know a couple of guys that are professional fighters, no longer fighting, and some that are fighting today, that if that man Hearn had said that while they were sitting on the dais next to him, someone will have been trying to pull him off of Mr. Hearn. World Combat Sports, you said that's right on target, huh? Yes, sir. You know it. I've heard you out there too, brother. You be on. Dead on. The last thing you want to do is show your teeth to the man. Unless you're gritting him while you're taking action, so he can see the seriousness behind you. But as far as a smile, yeah, that's right, Jive. Too dumb. Listen. Ignorance is something else. My man Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens uploaded a video shortly before I went live. He captured a guy walking down the street, walking a dog, and the guy's pants was under his buttock cheek. Okay? Walking down the street like that. Walking down the street like that. All it would take is somebody to just either walking, driving, whatever, stop, walk up behind that dude with some steel toe shoes on and kick him in his behind as hard as you could, like you was trying to kick a football through an upright on a 54-yard field goal attempt. Salute to Antoine Richardson out there in that super chat. He says, salute, Sensei. They messing with our subscription. What's going on, Antoine? What they doing, bro? I see you out there, but are they doing something? If you were worried about a notification, the notification for this show, when it was late, if anything, because I only uploaded that this show was gonna go live at the like 7:15 or so, because I had some issues earlier. For those of you who are looking for some of my video content that I did over the past week or so, it's been removed from the channel by myself, and I didn't mean to, so I had to talk to the people from YouTube behind the scenes. They told me what to do. It's going to take some time between tonight and tomorrow night for me to get everything back up. We're talking about almost 30 shows of content that I removed accidentally. So don't think, Stormy got hit with something. It's just I messed up. You know, I keep telling you guys I'm old. I ain't as young as sharp as some of you guys with this technology, but thank God they were able to tell me what to do to get my content back. Okay, Anton Richardson, you said you can't chat or respond without super chats. Let's see. Anton, try to write something now in the chat. Just try. Try to write something in the chat. Because it don't say you blocked on my end. It don't say you blocked. And if you are blocked, I'll go through at the end of the show. I'll have to do it at the end of the show. I can't do it right now during the show. Let's see here. Did you try to write something, Anton? So it's okay. I'm gonna have to look into that after the show because I modded you up just now just to see if you can write in the chat. So don't send any more super chats. I'll look into that after the show. I apologize for that. One of the things you can try to do is unsubscribe and resubscribe, but if you're subscribed in under 5 weeks, you should be able to write something. If you haven't subscribed and it's been less than 5 weeks, that's why, because it's got it's subscribers only here. But I did mod you up, and I apologize for that. Make sure you write something to explain in the comment section after the show. Not this chat, but the comment section. And I appreciate your super chats, bro. But I'm sorry about that. We'll get it straightened out. But yeah, we're gonna go on into this thing about the Undisputed. I wanted to. Okay, I see you now, Anton. I see you. You wrote, can you see me? I see you now. Channel member, yeah. So you're good now. You're good. But I don't know why you couldn't write before that, because you're a channel member. You say he's here. We can see now. Yeah. You're welcome. Okay. Just don't forget to super chat in the next show. Stormybman needs some super chats, y'all. You guys listen to me, but you don't send me no love, no honey, huh? No honey. What's up with that, man? Oh, stingy, coming to listen to my shows with zippers on your pockets, huh? What's up with that? Don't buy my merchandise, huh? I see y'all out there buying them old ugly t-shirts and stuff from certain other folks, and then you won't even get something that say Stormybman like that right there, huh? Buying all that stuff with all them colors on it and everything. You know what that make you? It make you a target when you out there and you got all that stuff on with all them colors on and everything. You walk in the wrong hood and get shot. Huh? Yeah. Ricky Williams, have you given your prediction for the Canelo fight? You know, Ricky, you just told on yourself right there. I might even take your wrench. Huh? You gonna ask me a question like that? Huh? How you gonna ask me a question like that? That's how you know when somebody is faking and fronting. Huh? Faking and fronting. Because Stormy B, man, put it out there. What'd he do? Huh? So, you know how guys, you know, you marching in the line. Everybody got on the same colors and everything. You know, it's like uniform. Then you got a guy that's got the uniform on, but he ain't really with you. Huh? Yeah. Huh? Ricky Williams, get to the back of the class, F+. And I ain't going to take the time out to even entertain an answer to that. Because if you knew what to do, then you would understand that that question didn't need to be asked. Oh, man. Oh, no. You see? See, this is how the shows get sidetracked. He an agent of chaos. People out there in the chat right now, it says we got 18 out there, but it's more than that because some of y'all be incognito and all that foolishness, huh? Thinking Stormy don't know who you are, but I know who you are because I hear you talking. And when you say certain things, I know where you got it from and who you been listening to and everything. I know all of that kind of stuff. That's why they call me the sensei. But anyway, Ricky Williams, for that question he just asked right there, will somebody in the chat talk to him? Because I'm going to go on with my subject. Huh? I ain't going to be sidetracked no more by somebody that got the name of another channel creator, huh? Content creator. And he out here faking and fronting. Huh? Come around here messing around, pretending, huh? Where do you get the merchandise? You know, Stormy can be really nasty sometimes, and I still ain't been nasty yet. But I just asked other people that's out there in the chat to hit you up on some things. Because if you got to ask a question like that, you ain't with me. Stormybman'S Thunderous Top 10 premiered on the Friday night chop session with Stormy B-Man. This is not a pound for pound list. The Thunderous Top 10, to explain it for the umpteenth time, is my personal list of people in the sport of boxing, fighters, who have a tremendous impact on the sport, whether they're fighting or not, whether something is going on in the ring, out the ring with the individual. The sport kind of revolves around these individuals, like it or not. This list, a list of 10, are names and personalities in the sport who also, for the majority, have something to do with Black Murderers Row 2021. Hey, I've asked someone in the chat to wind Ricky up on some things, and he's still writing in there. My office hours are starting at number 10. Shakur Stevenson. With his victory over Jamel Herring, he kicked the door in for number 10. He had been flirting in and out of this thunderous top 10, but the victory over Herring solidified his place on the list. Shakur is the type of fighter that people like to see. He's got a 1,000-watt smile. He's got a 1,000-mile-an-hour punch. And he's got defense like a young Floyd Mayweather. He's smart. He has ring IQ. He has hand and foot speed. And he's fearless. That makes for good stuff. That makes for great stuff. Knowing what Shakur has done in his fights as of late, his fight against Nakatila was a fight that showed him being able to win a fight. Although they were criticizing him, I didn't criticize the kid. He fought safe and won easy, running away, even dropping the guy twice because he didn't knock him out. They didn't want to give him much credit. There have been a lot of fights that Floyd won just like that. That's why I didn't criticize him. How quickly people forget things. Pernell Whitaker used to win fights 11 out of 12, 10 out of 12, 12 out of 12, and they still criticized him. How are you going to criticize a guy who win every round? Go 2 or 3 fights without losing rounds. Shakur is a pretty damn good fighter. And now that he's in the thunderous top 10, he's also going to go higher on that list of NBF, no black fighters, because he's good. And they're going to look to slow his legacy down. That's what that is. They're going to look to slow his legacy. Just know what you're looking at. Now, at number 9, a young man who's been hanging around this list for a minute, Devin Haney. Devin is suffering from the same thing. NBF. Fights being discussed, negotiated, even promoted, only to have the deals not take place, contracts not be signed, and people look to go elsewhere because he's pretty damn good himself. So the dream at this time can only dream of opponents and challenges because they try to freeze him out. They're trying to freeze him out. Number 8, Brian Castano. Not only did this guy give Earl Spence Jr. the business in the amateurs, but he has given every single fighter he's faced in the pros hell. Just ask Jamel Charlo. Jamel Charlo, who was much higher on this list months ago, and due to verbal outbursts and even more so his performance against Castano in the ring, has seen himself fall out of the graces. Yeah. He's fallen out of the graces. But Castano, the thing that was happening in that fight with Charlo hurt the guy. Put him on Queer Street, was trying to dig in on him. And the guy come right back and hurt Charlo. Raised the stakes. I loved it. That's when I knew he wasn't one to play with. And then the cherry on top about he not being one to play with was when the fight was over. It was a draw. This fight was for undisputed people at 154, super welterweight. When Charlo was asked, does he want to fight him in a rematch, run it right back? Charlo said, man, you're going to have to ask Al Heyman. Now, Lions Only used to answer those type of questions in the affirmative. This time, he answered the question in the deferred. I defer to Al. That's when I knew Castano, was something else. He ain't looking to get back in there with him anytime soon. And so it shows. Now Castano has one title. Mel has all the others. So he's still rated a little bit higher. But that fight could have gone either way. And until those two men settle their unfinished business, we won't have Undisputed at 154. The Troll Killer, Mr. Shelton, I see you out there, brother. I know you've been out there. I appreciate you, man. I just didn't get a chance to say anything before this moment. At number 7, who's really number 1 in my mind, people, is Deontay Wilder, the Bronze Bomber. The Bronze Bomber has shown himself to be not only a man of substance, a man of courage, conviction, but he's as steady as the rain, man. And he represents so well. He's a true people's champion. I've got him at number 7, but like I said, he could easily be my number 1. Number 6 is Naoya Inoue, the Japanese monster. This man right here does to his opponents exactly what Tank Davis does to his opponents. He turns out the lights. And I love to see him fight because he don't look like he, nothing special till he hits somebody with those hammers that he's got in those gloves. And guys start doing the boogaloo and the robot and, the dead man. They do all them old dances when they get in there with the monster. And he's about as entertaining as they come, putting people on the canvas. That's what people like to see when they watch boxing. And he being nearly undisputed gives the people something to really look at when he was out there. Because at any moment of a fight, when he lands a shot, the fight could be over. And it's just amazing to watch those little bitty guys like that turn other guys' lights out. That's incredible. At number 5, we got Javonte Tank Davis. Is it not funny or coincidental that these two men are 5 and 6? They both act like they work for ComEd or something, turning out the lights of their opponents. I love watching these two men do their thing. They're entertaining and crowd pleasing. And both are men of few words. They just rather get in there and get it done with their fist. Salute to Earl Taylor Sr. I see you out there. Salute. At number 4, who burst into the scene and also, take your time with this one, clean the clock of Anthony Joshua. See, Joshua was supposed to be so highly rated, right? But man, did Alexander Usyk show Joshua what true pedigree is, huh? Pedigree. This man has done it in the Olympics. He's done it in the professional ranks at cruiser. And now he's done it at heavyweight. Salute to Alexander Usyk for beating up Anthony Joshua and nearly stopping him in the 12th round. Only for Joshua to be saved with 7 seconds to go in the round when they turned the clock out, turned the clock counter off, and ended the bell sooner than it was supposed to, because Joshua was on his way to being stopped. Earl Taylor, this is the Thunderous Top 10. My Thunderous Top 10 is fighters who have the most impact on the sport presently, whether it's in the ring, out of the ring, a combination of both, and what their status means to the sport. These are high impact guys. Has nothing to do with their skill sets, but everything to do with how they entertain, how they move, and how they influence in the sport. And this is an honest assessment because most of these men are tremendously skilled. Most of their contemporaries avoid them. And there's usually something controversial about people, whether they want to get in the ring and face them or not. Absolutely, Volts UK. I've seen those videos. I've seen the guy waving the towel and everything, and the bell rang exactly when he waved that towel. They rang the bell. Usyk got Joshua out here talking crazy, talking about he admired thugs and gangsters and everything, and he grew up in the UK, and all the gangsters he named were from the US. I don't understand that. That's a whole different story. We have brothers who have commented on that and talked about it. I'm not going to go into it here. But Usyk is there because he's damn good. And if anybody is any better, it would only be the guys who round out the final 3. At number 3, we got Bud Crawford, who slipped a bit because I had he and Earl Spence Jr. tied for number 2 with Deontay Wilder at number 1. And the reason that Bud slipped is because of all that stalling and everything about who he was going to fight. Remember, it was going to be Manny Pacquiao, then it was going to be somebody else special, and this and that, and then it ends up now this going to be Sean Porter finally. But this is already at the end of the year. So Bud was supposed to fight somebody way early in the first quarter of this year. But pound for pound, Bud is a hell of a boxer who can switch orthodox, southpaw. He can move. He can stand there and fight. He punches harder than people think. And some people think he doesn't take the strongest of punch himself. But he can make up for that with his defense. He's the type of fighter who can use his feet for defense, or he could use angles for defense. He's not afraid of contact. And he's getting older now. And as guys get older, they can be just a little bit more vulnerable because they're not as quick as they used to be and things of that nature. But one thing with Bud Crawford is this. Bud doesn't burn the candle at both ends. So he lives pretty clean by boxing standards. And that, along with his competitive nature, will allow him to be a top fighter for a while. He hasn't taken a lot of punishment in the sport. He stayed at a lower weight when he could have moved up even earlier in his career. He actually could have started his professional career at 147. But they did some things by allowing him to turn pro at a lighter weight and progress through weight divisions and gain championship experience that way. And it may have been a great move. At the end of the day, we'll find out if it were or not. His career isn't over yet. We'll make that judgment call when it is. But Bud Crawford is definitely a damn good fighter. Worthy of being up there in number 3. Boxing and Barbecue, what's good with you, brother? Big homie Coop is laughing. He says Joshua lost his mind. You know he did, right? I ain't even gonna go there, man. I ain't even gonna talk about that fool. Volts UK says, if you include Catterall, who's next? Who's the next bout? Josh Taylor's last 6 opponents fought have a record of 169-1. Listen, man. Great segue into number 2 on this list. Josh Taylor, man, who won the Muhammad Ali trophy. He whooped Rigaru's butt. Yes, he did. And he beat up Ramirez. Josh Taylor is the man. I'm sorry. He's the man. Undisputed. What a fighter. Only to be topped by the guy I've moved up to number 1. Earl Spence Jr. Why is Earl Spence Jr. number 1 now? It has a little bit of everything with Earl. His accomplishments in the ring, his desire, and his want for the best of opponents. He's very good at beating the other guy at his own fight and game. That's hard to do in the sport of boxing. But we have yet to see what Earl's game really is. We hear a lot about he can really box. We hear a lot about things that he hasn't shown in fights yet. And as he ages, we need to see all of these things. But what I like most about Earl, and this will probably shock everybody out there, it has nothing to do with his boxing ability. I love Earl Spence's way of expressing himself. He's about as quietly confident as anybody I've ever seen in the sport of boxing. He's a man of few words, but when he speaks, it's poignant, it's direct, it hits home. Not a lot of people can say that. Not a lot of people can say that. Yes, he's a damn good fighter, but he might be the best at what I'm stating, because it's hard in this day and age. He's kind of like a throwback in that sense, because some guys didn't used to talk until it's time to say something. You know, everybody think that you got to have that microphone in your mouth and everything, and you express, and you know, you got to have something to say. You know, they got to hang on your last word. Man, Earl, go sit down somewhere until somebody either asks him a question or calls him out in some kind of way or whatever. And it's just the way he expresses himself. He just comes off like, take that. I remember when he got the Manny Pacquiao fight and they had announced it, and Bud had been waiting for that fight. And you know Bud was pissed off. And Earl's simple response, he didn't go back and forth with the words. He didn't say, nah, look at me, or nothing. He simply said, blame Bob. And that's just one of many quotes that this young man has come up with, bro. And I love it. I just love to hear him say stuff, because it's like definite, you know. It's like, you remember the group Boys to Men and the brother that had the real deep voice in Boys to Men? You know, they would bring him in to say something. Hey, baby, please don't go. You know, he say his little line. Then all the other guys, they singing and everything. But when the brother with the deep voice come in, he say that little part. That's Earl. He just like drop it there and he done. He gone. He done walked away and everything. You be like, where'd he go? You see his car going down the street. He gone. But it's like, hey, I love that about that brother. I wish some people would take notes. You understand? Because you don't have to speak. You let your actions speak. Huh? And in the ring, he whooping butt. Now, it's been unfortunate that we had some situations arise where he wasn't able to get the Manny Pacquiao fight and everything. But when he's able to get back in there, man, people are going to be tuned in. They're going to love it. You know, it's like, hey. But that's what makes him the number one on my pound for pound, my Thunderous top 10. So I have an appreciation for that. You know? But that's what that's all about, man. And I thought that I would, you know, share that, because it's been a while since I've had that on the Friday night chop session. And I just wanted to be able to, you know, bring it back in a show like this where I could dedicate more time to talking about that list, you know. So 704 Joe is out there. Appreciate you, 704 Joe. He says, peace to the gods, Dallas, Texas. Oh, you came in just in time to hear me talking about Earl, huh? Boxing and Barbecue says, I think we saw EJ style when he fought Lamont Peterson. Earl Taylor Jr. says, Senior says, facts. Boxing and Barbecue says, laugh out loud. Yeah, that was cold. Jive is laughing as well and says, facts. Yeah, man. Earl is something else when he does that. Earl, he, you know, he just, you know, he's quick-witted, and he's, you know, that's the end of that talk, you know. I respect that. But listen, fam, I'm going to cut this down because I would usually go till 10, but Stormybman'S pinched nerve is kind of acting up. I got to go get some medicine in me, man, and I'm going to lay it down for the evening. But I'm glad I was able to come out here at least for an hour and a half and give you guys some content this evening. I appreciate everybody who stopped by the channel, hit those likes. I appreciate the super chats, and our brother Daryl Alexander for the Cash App. Antoine Richardson, I'm glad that you in the house and you can write in there again. So appreciate that, man. It's been a great evening, man. I'm glad to be back on here bringing content, and I'm sad that I don't have my partners, the three wise men, Kurt Sugar and Scrapbook Boxing. But hey, we gonna be back. We're gonna be back. You guys just keep on pulling for Kurt to come back, man. Salute to the African sci-fi scholar out there in that super chat. He says, salute Stormy B, man. Remember when Earl said, hold on, let me call my promoter, and he called himself. Yeah, man, I remember that. That's what I'm talking about, man. It's like this brother is something else, man. He's something else, man. Rasheed Rugg says, right about EJ. I like how he shut down Gucci when they tried to endorse him. Yeah, man. He's his own man, and he's a stand-up guy. I guess if you know him and you've known him from the root to the fruit, you have that rapport and that respect with him, but he ain't one of those guys that's just gonna let you play him or nothing like that. That's why, I have tremendous respect for him. I have tremendous respect for him, man. He moved to his own music, and that's a good thing. Big Homie Coop says, you are appreciated. Thank you, Big Homie Coop. And prayers to the historian, Jive says. Earl Taylor Sr. says, salute OG. And he says, we thank you for the time you put in, Big Homie Coop. Hey, man, thanks again, guys. You really make it worthwhile when I can see the smiling emojis out there and people laughing and stuff. That's what I like to do, is keep people engaged in that manner. But, and Ricky Williams, if you're still out there, just know Stormy always comes hard on guys that don't be paying attention, because that's all it is. It's the sensei in a classroom making sure that you learn to pay attention. Because if you've been watching the channel, all you got to do is look on that front page, man. That video is there about Canelo and Plant. That's all you had to do, bro. So I just went the long way to tell you that. But don't be offended, because when you come back again, I'll offend you again. Okay, that's how we do it over here on Stormy B Man channel. You just got to get tough skin, and know that my steel toes are even tougher. So it's the way it's got to be, man. We got to make men out of you, or you're gonna be mice. You understand? Yes, sir. But yeah, man, thank you guys. I appreciate you all. Man, Stormy B Man gonna get on out of here, get some treatment. His pinched nerve is doing his number on me, so I gotta be able to be back for tomorrow night, because I know some of you gonna be looking forward to me. So with that, I'll get on out of here. Peace to everybody. Shout out to the LDBC. If BFTB is out there, you still didn't call me back, brother. What's up with that? And we gonna get on out. So I'm tired, y'all. Tomorrow.